welcome and thank you for being here. We have meetings here before. This is our advisory board meeting, which we sit around and we discuss things that are concerns for people in our community. If you have a concern, I'm dying to hear what it is. But we do have something that we kind of like to present to you beforehand. We have Officer Liz Rock here, who is our juvenile coordinator, our youth coordinator, and she's in charge of all the youth programs that we have for the Green Bay Police Department. So I'd like to have her do a little presentation about what we do and what we're planning on doing in expanding our engagement with the youth in our community, because I think like most of you, I believe that the youth are really critical, and working with them and keeping them out of trouble, just like they do here at the Boys and Girls Club, is absolutely critical to keeping Green Bay a safe and healthy and good place to raise kids. So I'm going to turn it over to her, and then we'll get on with our regular part of our meeting. And if you have any concerns about the police department, or about the FBI, or about the city council, or about the Divine Temple Church, we've got representatives from all the above. So hold on to those questions, and after she gets her little presentation, then we'll go ahead and answer any questions and see what you have on your mind, okay? So anyway, welcome, and Officer Liz Rock.
Hey everybody, how's it going tonight? Okay.
Good.
So I'll try to make it as short and sweet as possible. We have a lot of programs that are pretty neat, so I want to make sure you guys understand them to the fullest. So I will get started here. One of our youth programs that we have are the Tank Community Service Group, and our newer one, the Nicolay Community Service Group. This is a year-round community service group that meets about once a month. They provide activities like making cards for old folks' homes, they go around during Christmas, they do neighborhood cleanups. They go to the circus. This month is the circus. So they have select students. We'd like to expand it to more schools, but that's what we have right now. So the next thing, are you all familiar with Bring Your Own Five? No. Anybody? Okay. So a couple of you guys. So Bring Your Own Five is a summer basketball program that the people at the Divine Temple created along with the police department to get individuals to work together in the community. We go out and play ball with people that basically bring their own five to compete against them. So usually it's the juveniles that play. I'm not so good at it. I know some of these officers are, yeah, the chief is really good at basketball. Every Saturday in summer though, from 1 to 5. This year we're going to start it after the 4th of July just because it's a little bit easier with scheduling. That way it won't become so much of
And the spring break, figure out
yeah, we have championship games, everyone gets medals at the end of the season. So it's just a really fun activity that you can bond with local police and get to know us a little bit better. That we're not here to just go out and arrest people, and we're here to serve the community. And if you guys have any questions on any of this stuff as I go along with it, just raise your hand and I can answer them. Otherwise, I'll answer any questions at the end. So one of our next big things that we have is our Green Bay Bicycle Collective group. It's a group of volunteers that get together and plan stuff like bike rodeos, teach bike safety to juveniles, provide them with bikes if they don't have one to bring and ride during the safety events, and then they can even move bicycles. From brand new ones to our auction off bicycles through the community program. We also do community rides for people that are a little bit older. So they have like a mile-long bike ride every, I think it's the last Thursday of every month during summer, or during the nicer months that we can actually get out and bike. So it's just a really nice way to bond with people that are interested in the same kind of things in the community. Coffee with a Cop. Anybody ever attend one of those? No. Besides all the cops? Okay, so it's a great opportunity. If you guys have any questions in the community, obviously don't wait to go to one of these, but this is a great opportunity to get together in a low-stress environment, have a cup of coffee, talk about any concerns in the neighborhood, or any programs you would like to see in the community. So our next event is at Darjun on March 23rd from 8 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. So one of the big programs here is Baptist for Baseball. I deal with a lot of the juveniles that attend the club here. They go over valuable lessons Like one is teamwork. So we'll give the definition of teamwork. They'll have to tell us, how they apply that in their daily life, how they apply that in sports, and then I'll give an example of how I use teamwork at my job. Then as a report, we get to play some sports. So I'm out there playing dodgeball, basketball, I'm horrible at it, soccer. So it's really nice to bond with the kids and show them, again, that it's a positive environment, that they're getting contact with us. So, the parks department. So I go out during the summer to each park and meet the kids that the parkies work with. They provide free lunches at the parks through the actual parks department. And then I set up daily activities at various parks depending on what their lesson plans are. I provide bike licensing so that we can reduce thefts, and if, say, your bike would get stolen, we have that serial number to track your bicycle and get it back a little bit easier. Without that, we really can't guarantee that we can get it back if we find one. Our biggest program right now, I would have to say, is our Police Explorer Post. It's a great way for juveniles ages 14 to 21 to get together, learn a little bit about law enforcement, and apply those lessons to daily life. So I know Chanel has gone to one of our meetings. She's a little above the age limit, but she was interested in law enforcement. So they compete actually every year. We just got back from our state competition, so they do like traffic stops, see who called out the best traffic stop, how they applied the best, and then every other activity that actual police officers go through. Cops at the Croc is very similar to our Bats for Baseball program, only it's at the Croc Center. We like to try to expand to every facility in Green Bay, but I know there's so many, like YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, Croc Center, but it's just a way to bond with juveniles and hopefully answer any questions that any kids have. Another big program we have right now is books and badges. Have you guys heard of this at all? I know it was on the news a couple weeks back. No? Okay. So I actually brought an example of our books and our little certificates. So we actually go out to kindergarten classes throughout Green Bay. It's about 3,000 students a year that we will hopefully serve. We read to them a simple book like Peter Cat, if you guys have ever heard of that. Then we read this little book, costs about $1, and then they get to take this home. It's a great way to bond and show that education is very important to the students. We write a little note inside, something like always be kind, a little badge sticker, and then give them certificates to take home saying that they got to bond with the police and got this police programs. So very cool program. Hopefully the kids enjoy it just as much as the officers. It's such a positive thing. We leave there and our day is made over. So safety is a great opportunity to get to know officers and learn about gun safety, what our duty belt equipment consists of, and when they apply. So that is every summer. They learn about the fire department, electric safety, when to work with all these different community events and community services, and how to stay safe at home. A couple of more things that I do, various facility visits, like have you guys heard of date treatment at all? Juvenile intake, electronic monitoring. So this is for juveniles that have already gotten in trouble, that hopefully will answer any questions, bond with them, and hopefully prevent future issues with law enforcement. We want kids to succeed in our community, so that is our biggest goal with all of these. Same thing with home visits. If a officer has a bad run-in with, or a negative run-in with a juvenile, where they were maybe being disrespectful at home, have issues at school, I will then follow up with that juvenile and their parents and see if any of these programs fit to improve their lifestyles and improve their future. And then for the severely at-risk juveniles, we have multiple different options. Have you guys heard of the Challenge Academy or Rawhide? So Challenge Academy is a military-based facility that they basically go through boot camp, they go through educational programs, and they can actually earn credits toward graduation. Rawhide is very similar, and then we have drug treatment programs and even behavioral programs that they can get toward. So, for each of these, it varies. The Challenge Academy is ages 16 and 9 months, very specific, and older. I believe the oldest age is 18. So, great programs, but there are different age groups, so that definitely has an effect, yeah. I believe my brother's keeper treats pretty much everybody. I have a younger guy, about 3 years old, that's going there. But most of them are for the teenager level. My brother's keeper, I would have to contact them and ask, but pretty much anybody I refer over, they will take. So, I haven't had any issues with that. So, I guess that is all I have right now, but I would like to expand a lot of these programs and see if you guys have any suggestions for future programs. Anybody? Any questions on anything we already have?
Where does Coffee with a Cop take place?
So we just had it at the Attic Coffee Store, and next time is at Darwin.
Is it ever possible that Coffee with a Cop could take place in one of the homes or on the porch in the summertime? I think, if a policeman went to the home, or at least be on the porch with them, that might give a signal of marking or something.
Yeah, a little bit more comfortable environment.
Love to do that. We do it anywhere. We'll do it anywhere you like. It's nice at the coffee shop because they usually donate the coffee, and you can all come in and enjoy that. But we'll go anywhere, just about any time to make that connection with the community.
Very good. Any other suggestions? Feel free to find me after. I can give you my card. And I'd love to create more programs to help the community.
So how do the at-risk youth program work? Like, they just call you and see if officers are having one of them with your child, or do you just reach out to people, kids that more at risk than others?
I had a girl that just said she wanted to run away, and the mom wanted me to come talk to her yesterday, so I showed up at the house and we had a little conversation about what the root causes were. Turns out she was being bullied at school, and we'll work with the school liaison officers and counselors and get that fixed. But I mean, even if they haven't gotten in trouble, I'm more than willing to meet with any of the juveniles. Hopefully we can improve that.
Do you also work with truant children?
That is more school resource officers, but I know multiple kids that I work with have had truancy issues as well. So, yeah.
Is there anything programmatically for young adults, specifically like just finished high school through 21, somewhere in that range? It seems like a lot of youth that I work with kind of make it through the high school experience pretty smoothly, and then it's that next season of life where a lot of times choices are made, and now that they're 18, those choices matter a lot more.
Yes.
So just wondered if there's anything that's kind of focused on that.
We're working on a program. It's still going to take a while to get set up, but we were having thoughts of getting area jobs, some of the bigger companies to reach out and offer these trial periods of jobs. We're not exactly sure who's going to be involved yet, but we would take referrals on that, give them, the basic resume building. For police explorers, we already do the resume building, cover letter, all of that, so they can prepare for jobs. But I'd like to expand that to not just people interested in law enforcement. So yeah, definitely a good point. We see that as a huge issue too, not having guidance.
We've also had some contacts at the Bring Your Own Five tournament on Saturdays. We've had people come out there that have been recruiters for local businesses in town. And we had kind of a mighty success story. Initially it did, but if there are those young adults, we really encourage them to connect with us, because a lot of us in this room know people who know people. We can get these young adults hooked up with very successful jobs in the community. We also have a teen academy
And that really kind of provides a good overview of what the police department does. And it really gives the kids a good background of what a life of a police officer is. And regardless if they want to get into law enforcement or not, it's about developing those relationships and those academies. So, coupled with the Bring Your Own 5, the Team Academy, what Officer Rock just said, there's always room to grow, but we are making those strides.
I know some juveniles in the community also reached out and asked for assistance with typing up stuff for scholarships. I'm actually working on one right now. So any little assistance that might be able to help them, we'd like to assist. Otherwise, we can try to set them up, like you said, with other resources in the community to help.
So what would a copy of the kindergartens?
As of right now, yes, just because of the budget issues, we have a lot of good donors that we have set up. We just have to work through that, and also people to actually go out and reach the kids. I obviously would love to every day, but for that many students in the community, we need a couple more people. So, awesome. Good questions. Any other ones?
So Officer Rock is going to stick around for a little while. Just so you know, she's new to this position, but before she got this as a full-time position, she would do this stuff on her own time. So she would come in on her own time to work with kids. And that shows you to me, the kind of dedication that she has to working with the kids in our community. So thank you for that. And I'll have her stick around and she can answer questions one-on-one later if everybody wants to stick around for a couple minutes. Thank you. And thank you Well, listen, this is a community forum which gives you an opportunity to speak out and ask questions of us. I should point out there's a lot of things going on in our community that I think everybody's aware of. The changes in the immigration policy with the federal government and the folks from Casa Alba Melanie have been advocates for the immigrant community for quite some time. We're having a meeting tomorrow night, and maybe before we get too caught up in everything else, you can mention a little bit about that and what's going to happen tomorrow night.
Basically, Chief Smith arranged for this. We'll have present the district attorney, the mayor, an immigration attorney, to be able to try to at least provide some information. There's a lot of fear that's going through the community, a lot of false information that is really just setting people on edge, frightening families, frightening children. So to try to provide a sense of support within this community, so people feel that they have a support system, and if they're, because we know so many people who are just really good families, that we want them to feel safe here and welcome.
And so one of my jobs that tomorrow night is going to be to explain how the police department has not changed our policy with regards to dealing with people with regardless of their immigration status. We don't concern ourselves with someone's here legally or not. Our job is to keep Green Bay safe, and so we don't even ask. That's an event at 5:30 tomorrow night at St. Willibrod's. Encourage everybody to come. Children are welcome. My kids are going to be there, I know, because my wife's out of town, so I got to take them. So they'll be there. But I wanted to introduce a couple other people that are here that have joined us. Alderman Randy Scannell is at every meeting I ever go to. I think he's stalking me. Every time I turn around, he's behind me in a meeting or in front of me in a meeting, so he's always here. FBI Special Agent Scott Neville is here from representing the FBI. If anybody has any questions about federal matters, not immigration so much, but FBI matters, he's the right guy to talk to.
We don't have any.
Good, so you'll make it out in your car. I'll be here. Yeah. And Deacon Terry Cook, who's is a great community advocate from the Divine Temple Church of God in Christ. And he's always there. He's our referee for our basketball games all summer long. The only rule we have is the ref is always right. So he's always there. Yeah. The police officers you see here are some patrol officers that are working that were on the field today. We called them in because we wanted them to be part of this community. But we also see some of our community policing officers in the back here. They're the ones that are dedicated to working one-on-one with the folks in the community, solving those community problems, identifying what they are, and working in those areas. Let me have you guys introduce yourselves, and just so people know what your area is and where you guys work. So we'll start with Officer Carlson.
Officer Frank Carlson, from the downtown area, so just looking for the east river, north and south. From the time, up in the north neighborhood.
I'm Officer Lutz. I work in the Bravo District. Officer Mark's trying to work in the Charlie district, which is downtown, with Craig and Riley and downtown, and everyone.
And these, you go ahead and introduce yourself here. These are our patrol officers.
Buster Gerlach, I work for our East District Team, so it's kind of a East River all the way up to the city limits on the east side.
After here, tonight I'm Far East, typical Far West. All around.
And Liz, you know Liz, of course. You know, everybody knows Kevin, of course. So, again, it's really free form. Maybe I should invite a couple other people up here that can answer some questions. Sharon, I'd be remiss if I didn't have you go up here and join me up here. The hard questions you can give to Sharon. And then Paul, you want to come up? And maybe Keith and Jim, if you guys want to come up as well. We don't need, I'll stand, I don't mind. You guys can sit and relax. Older guys can sit down over there.
I like that.
Yeah. So we just want to answer any questions you guys might have and see if whatever everybody has on their mind. It's great that we have an audience here that we don't usually get a chance to reach. Like I said, we've been here once, at least once before, the Boys and Girls Club. We work really well with the folks over here, Dwight and everybody else. So thank you for letting us be here, and thank you for hosting us tonight. But I'll open up the floor to any questions you might have for ourselves or for your Casa Alba folks or for the alderperson or for the FBI. Anybody have any questions or anything or any concerns that they have? Sir.
Could you explain a little bit more about the mental health? Dealing now, you have officers dealing with mental health problems.
Right.
Now, specifically, do we refer people to them, or do they just, when they come upon somebody, they'll work with you, or how does that work?
Well, so what Father Groot is talking about is our mental health officers. We have assigned 2 officers from the Green Bay Police Department full-time to work only with issues surrounding people's mental health. We've had such a concern about that in our community. I think last year, my last count, 2016, we had 695, I want to say that's number 695 mental health referrals. That's when we got called by a family member, by a concerned citizen, or by another police officer that said someone is having a mental health crisis. And we had to take that person from their home to make sure they're safe and get them into a mental health facility. You know, so close to 700 times last year. At the beginning, each one of those incidents took about 5 hours of officers' time. So it would take quite a bit of time for an officer to get someone, get the right referral, get them into the proper placement, make sure that they did whatever follow-up had to be done, completed all the paperwork, about 5 hours. That's a huge commitment of personnel resources. So we thought if we could do a better job of that by having specially trained officers that can go out and maybe do some stuff proactively before they got in that crisis situation, check up on those folks that are having those problems. We'd save a lot of officers' time. We provide better service to the folks in our community that have mental health issues. And with the Willow Creek facility opening up over here, I think it's a great asset for our community. So the answer is yes. You can refer people directly to them. You can call them up and tell them, hey, this guy's having an issue. Could you guys check up on him? And they'll do that. They'll go out there. They'll also respond if they hear a radio call come out of someone having a mental health crisis. They'll respond to that, and they get referrals from our officers, especially our community policing officers, who know that there might be people in the community that are having a crisis, approaching a crisis, or have had some issues in the past. So they'll work with all those. So for us, many of our officers, and I don't want to say most yet, but many of our officers have had the 40-hour mental health training, which we try to get everybody through that program. But these other officers, not only are they all volunteers, they wanted to do this, they had to compete to get these jobs, and then they were selected based on that competitive process to go and work with mentally ill. They don't answer radio calls, they don't write tickets to people, they just deal with folks that are having those crises. I think it's money well spent, I think it's time well spent in terms of providing a really good service to the city.
They also sit on mental health court.
Yeah, you want to explain that?
So Brown County has a number of different courts, including Veterans Court, Heroin Court, and Mental Health Court, which the 2 mental health officers sit on this court to help people with their medication compliance. And upon successful completion, they were reintegrated into the community, usually with job searches and a full-time employment and proper living conditions.
And by the way, the man who just spoke is Commander Paul Abel, who's in charge of all of our patrol and our operations on the patrol side. Next to him, Sharon Harper, everybody knows. Next to him is Commander Jim Runge, who's in charge of all the investigative follow-ups and all the detective side of the house. and that's Keith Knable, who's a district captain for the Bravo district, which is right on the other side of the river. Sir?
Is there a strategic plan to increase the diversity on the force?
There is. One of the things that one of my goals is to have a department that matches the community that we have in Green Bay. Now, if you know anything about Green Bay, you'll know that it's changing, and the times they are changing for the city of Green Bay. And what was once a very monochromatic city and a monochromatic state has really changed dramatically. You know, the city of Green Bay school district is 51% minority. So the city in 10 years is going to look completely different than it does right now. My goal is to have the city of Green Bay Police Department match the demographics of the city of Green Bay. I think it only makes sense. People should be represented on the police department. So we are actively recruiting people from the minority communities, from the LGBTQ communities. Women, we are actively trying to get more women on the police department. The first black officer came on the Green Bay Police Department 2007. So we've come a long way since then. We have 4 black officers on our department. We have 3 Hispanic officers on our department. We just hired one who is going to be getting off probation in a couple. Arturo, is he off yet? Getting off probation.
On his own.
On his own, so he's on his own, working in the field by himself, but he's not. We stole him from Preble High School. He was a security officer at Preble High School, so we liked him. He was a hard-working guy over there, treated people right, so that's the kind of guy we wanted. We also found a guy named Garth, who's Garth Russell, who's actually born in Jamaica, joined the United States. Another one, okay, there you go. So he joined the United States Army and served overseas in Iraq in a combat veteran capacity. He served with one of our officers, A.J. Walker, who happens to also be an African-American guy from Chicago. A.J. Walker said, you got to get this guy. So we went all the way to Texas to recruit this guy. Went to Texas. Thank you all for letting us to travel to Texas. We had to ask for special permission to travel that far out of state, and a lot of eyebrows were raised about sending officers down there to try and recruit someone from Texas. He came up here. He has some relatives up here. He's working out great. He's working on night shift starting this week, and great officer, great guy. I think he's going to end up being a real good asset to our department. So we are actively recruiting. If you know somebody who has a good character, someone who works hard and treats people right, is what I say. We're able to now send some people through the police academy and pay for them to go through the police academy. So our salary's competitive. Thank you again, Alder folks, for alderpersons, for giving us our last contract. Gave our entry-level guys a raise, so we're really competitive with the other agencies. We used to be down here, and we had a hard time getting anybody to come here. But now we're up here, and we just interviewed 51 people in the last 2 days for positions here. Many of those women, many of those minorities. So short answer is, we're on the road. We got about 50 retirements in the next 5 years. That's about a quarter of our department. So we're looking to have a huge change in the demographics of our department by picking the best qualified people over the next couple years. Long answer to a short question. Sir?
Yeah, I'm good at the Green Bay. I would like you to talk about Aaron. Like, you do have a chaplain department within the police department?
We have, yeah, you can.
We have 2 chaplains. Father Getchell is one of our chaplains, and Pastor Rick Parker.
And then you pass it, you bring base while I'm in the volunteering, finding out how I can get involved as a chaplain in Green Bay.
Well, we'd love to have you as part of our chaplain corps. Father Getchell is he for the Packers guy?
No.
Brainiac. Okay. So we have 2, but we'd love to have you be a part of it. So I'll give you a card when we leave, and then you can send me an email, and I'll hook you up with the right people. Great, thank you. Where'd you come from, by the way?
Joliet, from Inglewood in Chicago, from Joliet down here.
Very good.
Plant seeds here in Green Bay and do whatever I can to inspire, help, restore, revive, and renew whatever I can do in Green Bay. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, welcome to Green Bay. Thanks. Sir.
Besides the efforts of Christ to diversify the police department, is there any type of formal training, perhaps mandatory, that will probably try to implement cultural responsive practices when the interactions come between police officers and maybe populations? There might be other than white, for example. Is there any type of intentionality behind the cultural responsive practices when those interactions take place?
from implicit bias.
Yeah, do you want to do that? You want to talk about that? Okay. All right, we do a bunch of stuff to make sure that our officers are treating people properly, regardless of what community they came from, regardless of what their ethnicity is. One of the things that we did about 3 years ago is we trained our entire department on implicit bias. Now, it's been a couple of years since we've done that, so in our spring in-service, which we're scheduling now, we're going to be meeting with all our officers, and we're going to be providing them training on implicit bias. And for those of you that don't know what implicit bias is, basically it's as we go through life, human beings naturally tend to accumulate biases just because of the way the human brain works. And to hear people talk about this that have studied this and spent their lifetime doing this, we all have them. We all have implicit biases inside of us for whatever reason based on how our life is, what happened throughout our lives, okay? So what we need to do is recognize that we all have those. We need to recognize that how those affect us in our daily interactions, and we need to make sure that we're policing constitutionally and not allowing those implicit biases to affect the way we do police work, the way we interact with people. The in-service that we are in right now, our winter in-service period, which is our training period, we're talking about all the officers about treating other people right, harassment, that kind of thing, and we're making sure that we all have, we're all trained up on that. We have a series of policies that prohibit us from treating people disparately. We have a series of policies that we make all our officers read and sign for so that we can periodically update them as things change with respect to best practices across the country or changes in lawsuits or whatever. We subscribe to a place called Lexipol, which is an outfit out of California that provides model policies that have been vetted through courts and through social welfare folks and through attorneys to basically say that these policies are sound and they represent the best practices for policing across the country. So it's something I tell my guys that I work with, every interaction that we have every day, every time you make a traffic stop, every time you talk to somebody, that's an opportunity to build a relationship and to start working better together with people in the community. Have you had any issues or have you had any specific problems that are a concern to you?
No, not on a personal level. I've gotten some comments, I've gotten some misperceptions perhaps, but not anything specifically on a personal level.
Yeah. The research says there are a couple things that we can do as a police department that will help us develop a better level of trust with the community. One of those is to have civilian police academies or citizen police academies, which we have a couple times a year. We do a youth academy, we do a regular citizen police academy. We just finished one up, but it's a great opportunity for people to come in on a Wednesday night for 3 or 4 hours, learn about all the things that we do, learn about why police do the things they do, and develop a better understanding and see that the guys that are here behind the badges and the blue suits are just like the folks that are sitting out there. We have the same concerns, we have the same fears, we have the same desires to have Green Bay a safe place. Because most of us live inside the city and have our kids here and whatnot. So that's one of the things that we can do. The other thing is to have community forums like this, where people have an opportunity to interact with our officers, where they have an opportunity to talk with them, and where our officers have an opportunity to hear what your concerns are. For instance, that's why we asked our patrol officers that are out here driving around, as soon as they leave here, they're going to jump in their car and go answer the radio and go do traffic enforcement, do all those things they ask us to do. That's why I wanted them to come here, so they could hear directly from you what your concerns are and what you guys need from the police department. So those are a couple of things that we're doing. And obviously, not perfect, far from it, but I think we're trying. Yesterday we went to we had a large contingent of officers at the YMCA for the discussion from Mohammed Bey on racism and the book by I believe it's Dr. Coates. And then earlier today we were over at NWTC for a forum that they had there. It's called the Seat at the Table, which is we sit with students, we sit with faculty members, we talk about what it's like to be a police officer, and they talk about the interaction that they have. Tonight we're here. Tomorrow night we're going to be with the folks from Casa Alba Melanie up at the St. Willibrod's Church for the Immigration Forum. So we do stuff like that all the time. Hope to reach out and touch as many people as we can. Yes, ma'am.
Over this, now that the weather is going to be breaking soon, with the officers be doing more patrols through the neighborhoods with the bikes and stuff, where they just come through and pretty much interact with the neighbors when they see the neighbors are out on the porches and things.
Well, you know what? I'm going to throw that question to the guys in the back because they're the ones. Just the other day, whenever it's warm, the two guys on the end are out on bikes. So I walked a foot deep.
Everybody knows that it does bounce cycle last week. It's been warm, and Craig and I, 3 out of the last 5 days, has been on bikes in the downtown area. So, and the chief actually almost ran us over yesterday.
I was trying.
Can we see tomorrow on bikes?
Not tomorrow.
Yeah, not tomorrow.
There's one other thing you're going to see this summer, is you're going to see our horses out in the neighborhoods.
Well, not in mine. I didn't see no horses. I did see the people on the officers on the bikes running on like down on the corners, the younger kids, the teenage kids, which I think is probably should be something more of support to mothers with these problem teenagers. Instead of the parents being held responsible for some of the actions that these kids are doing. They should be at a point in their life where they should be able to make a conscious decision to know if you're doing right or if you're doing wrong, instead of the child coming home with a ticket to the parent for something that they did. But it's just that with the bike riding of the officers in the community, like you never know. I guess with the vehicles, like I guess you probably can see them a distance away, but with the bikes, it's like they maneuver and move around quickly, and it's hard. Like we had an incident on the corner of our block one time, and it was just so happened that the officers were turning up through the corner where they were able to diffuse what was going on the block. So that's the reason.
So
and
you'll see.
With the parks, because you want to feel safe with your children going to the parks like Eastern Park. I know over the last 2 summers, there's been a lot of confrontations up in that park, and not really happening to do with the children, but more of the teenager and adult aspects. Again, it kind of makes you leery to send your children out to the park because you really don't know. So that's the reason I was asking.
So, yeah, the answer is yes. You're going to see more officers out on bikes as the weather gets warmer. Officer Lentz in the middle over there is one of our horse officers, so he'll be out on horseback. And we anticipate seeing a lot more of the horses out this summer now that everybody's all trained up. We'll have the horses out there starting in about April, so you'll start seeing them. You'll see us walk footbeats because I grab all the staff I can out of the headquarters, and once or twice a month we'll get out there and we'll spend 4 or 6 hours. We'll pick different communities and we'll walk footbeats out there, get to know the people a little bit, get out of the building for a little bit and get back in with the community. One of the things that was a concern right around this time last year, and Sharon Harper talked about it, and I'll let her address it real quick, is a lot of folks from out of town send their kids up to Green Bay during the summer because this is a safe place for kids. They don't want their kids in Chicago in July and August and September because there's so many shootings in Chicago, as we've all heard about. Same with Milwaukee, same with some other cities. So Sharon had some concerns about that last year because all of a sudden we get we have a way of doing things in Green Bay where I think it's different. Last summer we went from May 18th until September 11th without anybody in Green Bay getting shot. That's an amazing stretch of time in a city this size compared to Chicago that doesn't go 15 minutes without somebody getting shot. So naturally people, 15 seconds? Maybe you're right. So maybe that if I was a parent living in Chicago, I'd want to send my kids to Green Bay as well. But Sharon could tell you her concern.
The thing about it is this here, the main reason why we came up here, most of us, is because it's safer, better economy and stuff like that. But at the same time, though, we have to be responsible. Now, a lot of us, and I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. Y'all know me. We send Shanae and Shaquita and all of them up here, and they acting crazy. Now, they doing things we don't do up here. They throwing trash, they stealing, they doing different things. So when your relatives come up here, you need to say, look, I know you come up here and it's different for you. All the white people don't hate you. All the cops ain't gonna kill you. So just know how to act when you out in public. We're not throwing garbage all on the ground. We're not attacking people as they're going down the street as a joke. We don't do that. And basically, the main thing is that the officers here, now, they all here, these are my boys, I always say. But let me tell you, we don't have a lot of crime, so we ain't got nothing but time but to catch you. And I'm going to tell you that right now. Because I live here, and I am not going to have my neighborhood the way it is in Chicago. And so as long as we keep coming together, y'all, and talking to each other and telling the truth, and pointing out those things like you said, okay, it's a little problem over here. Up 911 or either whatever the regular number is. Officer so-and-so, there's a problem. We see that every week, such and such and such. Y'all know we from Chicago. We know when it's a drug house, when people selling drugs, when they rolling up, when they doing that. We have to nip it in the bud. We do, because we live here. We can't expect them to do everything. They can't see everything. No matter how much they're out there on horses, bikes, wagons, roller skates, whatever. They can't see everything. They need us to tell them. And for the first time, I don't know about y'all, in my life, when an officer, the captain, the chief, is with us and asking us questions, what can they do? Because I don't know about y'all, when I was in Chicago, I never even met the chief or the captain. Okay? Or Milwaukee, City, none of that. So we have officers here ready to help you in any situation. They got all the different programs going. You heard Officer Rock telling you all the programs going on. They got opportunities. They got stuff going on. We know no matter what, somebody spill gonna act a fool. We know that. Let's keep it real. But if we work together with them, talking to them, letting them know, and that's the purpose of doing these things, where you can talk to them, get their card. Okay, you got his number. You can call him, say, you know, that house over there has been really busy every night, da-da-da-da-da. They not like Chicago, where they're going to tell the people that, yeah, it was Sharon told me. Okay? They not going to do that. That's how they did me in Chicago. They just going, you really is anonymous. They say that in Chicago, but that's a lie. But anyway, see, so you can tell them what's going on. You can keep your community safe. You can keep your kids safe. That's why we're doing these different programs. Bring You On 5 that we do. The whole summer it was safe. People was coming out barbecuing, having birthday parties. It was beautiful. All colors, all ages, no matter who you are. That's what we're about. Unity is the key, y'all. Unity, love covers. And so the main thing is that what we have to do is to make sure that we are helping them. They can't do it by themselves. And we have to be able to be honest with ourselves. We know some of us got some kids. And so we know that most of the time, though, if we catch them in time, we can save them. And we can do, I was trying to help a young man in my neighbor, he's my neighbor. Now his mama think I don't know. You know I'm from the hood. I know drug addict parents. I know them. When you go in anybody's house and there's no TV, let's tell the truth. So, but I still was trying to help him, okay? Because he's a good kid. He want to be about something. So I was trying to tell him to come to this and tell him the family to come and to be involved. That's what we have to do. We are helpers one to another. We got to love each other. We got to look out and be real, be honest. And that's the way where we can make a difference, because all these programs ain't going to do no good if we don't put our kids in, if we don't talk to them, we don't tell them what's going on. They don't know. We have to tell them, in order for us to do that, we need to have a relationship. So we need to have a relationship. That's what we're doing now. So when we do that, now we're able to stop those kids that's coming in. I work at Best Buy. I'm tired of locking up kids or getting them locked up from Chicago, coming up stealing and trying to think they can get away with it. You know, because they look like, oh yeah, but then when they see me, they're like, oh, that's a black woman, no, let me go. So they wait till my white co-worker comes, then they run out. But see, they got them on camera. So then now you got your kids, and then you're dealing with all of that, and like you said, you're getting a ticket. So now if you need support as a parent, that's why I have a community parent thing. I can't get parents to come. I told them, I said, the only way I can get them to come is I have Lil Wayne here, Drake. Then everybody will come, you know. So, yeah, you know, so that's why I said, too, you know, they can't do it all by themselves. We have to help each other.
Deacon Terry, I'm sorry.
You know, I'm not trying to make this a church here, but you know, a lot of these situations and problems are not just police problems. Some of them are spiritual problems. I remember when I was going to church, we went to church Sunday. You know, I'm willing to take any of your children to church. It don't got to be divine temple. Whatever church you choose, at least I will introduce them to some faith somewhere. Because we lack it. The police cannot raise my kids. The police can't stand on my neighbor's corners and determine what's going to happen. We're missing a lot of godly principles in our lives. All of us. From the adults to the children. This little man here, I would take this little so he can learn So no, he's not a bad child. I don't believe in bad kids. They just don't have that peace of godness in them to keep them pure. Because they you know, it tells us that if we raise these kids, they will not go astray far. We need that in them. Because once they out there and it's too late, that's when these guys come in and see them, and we have no more control over once they get their hands on them. You can cry, you can pout, you can send them to all kind of programs. Once they in that system, we gonna put them in this other system that we know about, that man we know about. You know that man from Galilee, y'all know what I'm
Can I
talking
add something to that?
about.
So, like when a parent is trying to mold their kids, so you guys won't mold them. Like, it's so many parents that's scared to even mold their kids because it's so much CPS getting involved in this and that, and you think you abusing your kid, and you're not. But I want to raise my kid, and I want to teach them right from wrong, you know, before they get out there and wild out, excuse my language, and you guys get involved. I don't want the system raising my kid. So how can you, like, what is the line between it? Because it's so much that get involved, like CPS and stuff like that. It's different growing up. When I was growing up, and my mom from Jamaica, everybody, the community raised your kid. If you see me acting up, you get the right to put me in my place. You know, and it's not like that no more. Like,
Ma'am, you had something to add to this?
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I was getting to. I have 2 10-year-olds and 8-year-old. Like, I am a very strict parent. You know, I still to my kids, like, you go to school with a lot of kids, a lot of people raise their households different. But just because you see this child doing something doesn't mean that I give you the approval to do it. But then they being so installed in their heads that it's basically like just looking at kids, kids, like these kids look at the parent like, oh, you can't do nothing to me. So then at that point, it's basically like this, so now they taking it and they running with it. So then basically really what's happening is that the home is being stripped because at some point you do have to gain some control over your children. If your children are growing up and there is no control, you know, like you say, it ain't all what the police can do. I can talk to my kids from sun up to sundown. That doesn't mean that they're gonna follow the rules. Like I got CPS called on me 5 times in 1 month. I don't even hit my kids, okay? But when I say something, that's what I mean because I am the adult. And once they learn that they have rules to follow, and there is a support team for the parents. I'm not saying that I got to pick up a chair or a bed or a broom and chastise my child. But if I feel like you need a 15-minute time out in this corner, that's appropriate. Stand over here into this corner until you get your mind right. And once it's right, then you come back and talk to me. Right. But you can't do that because every 5 minutes, here it is somebody, oh, did something happen? Just like the CPS woman took my child out of school and took her to McDonald's. Who even gave you permission to do so? You can't do anything, and that's what I was saying about as far as about support for these mothers, because you got a lot of mothers that's single mothers, and trying to raise a teenage boy, that's a trying situation, especially if you have other siblings, like how these programs is for these troubling kids. Where is it like a resource or something, a team that get put together to work with these parents, and then pop up with these problem kids with the parent like, oh yeah, we ain't playing. And I guarantee you they'll fall in line. Like I go to my kids' school. My son has a little problem or whatever. They have a special class that they go to, and it's a bunch of kids here, and like they all together special. Okay? And the school, they running the teachers. You walk in just to volunteer, everybody sitting down in their seat, don't move, raise your hand. The man walked back inside of the room, oh, Ms. Rockers, you need to come back more. No, they're going to respect authority. But if everybody's authority is being stripped, what do you expect these kids to do? So therefore, they're gone. So now you don't have no control. You can't put nothing spiritually in them. You can't teach them anything.
Well, the word can come to anybody.
Yeah, the word can come to anybody.
You know, man, I feel the frustration with you because I have children myself that are here. But you know, I ain't always been a deacon or something. I'm from Chicago too. So, I went to jail for stuff that didn't have nothing to do with my kids. My kids were going to listen to me. I would go to jail again for stuff to keep my kids living.
Right.
I have to put hands on my kid appropriately, I will. I just deal with it. But I just save my kid, I will. Because I went to jail for stuff that didn't have nothing to do with my kid. See what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna get frightened and say, my kid is gonna just do anything. That's just me talking, man. That's how I raised my kid. I would grab my kid and say, you gotta sit down.
I'm with
I
you
was
100%,
down.
but then it's a problem when you got CPS knocking at your door like you can be a kid. Now they threaten you. You want me to go to parenting classes? I don't need no parenting. This child needs some guidance. Amen. And at this point, you come here to work with us as a whole.
Well, you know what, I'm gonna tell you, let me just say this too, because as a single mom, the thing is, it is hard and it's a struggle. But what I found is, this is before I got saved and loved the Lord, what I found is, first of all, the Boys and Girls Club. That was my best friend, because I was able to bring them to a place where they could come and they could have fun, do homework, do this and that. That gave me a little bit of break, plus it was some structure involved. Also, what I did is, when it comes to kids now, this is something that I learned from the previous chief. He said, we can pop them on their boot, we can't leave no marks, but we can spank them, we can, do things like that. Then you have to learn your child. Some kids, you can just holler at them and they'll do right. You got some kids that you got to threaten them. You got some you got to put hands on maybe. Some kids, you just take that phone from them and they change their mind real quick. Take that iPad, take that stuff. You have to find different things. But like you said, as far as like support and stuff, there is programs for parents, to single parents and things like that. But in order for you to be involved in it, like we were saying, like, okay, we had a lot of kids here today. Now I'm just gonna keep it real. And this is all the parents we got. And stuff. You see what I mean? There's a lot.
How big is the advertisement though?
Right.
You understand you got a lot of working parents.
Right.
How
We
big is the
understand that.
advertisement?
Yeah.
So like on these sites that y'all have.
No,
it would be nice enough
I know what
to
you're saying about the
broadcast these
advertising.
things so you can share them.
Right,
and hope
right.
parents to know about
Yeah,
them.
well, we did. That's the thing. We did, and we made sure. But what I'm saying is, I'm just saying that even still, because I've been doing this for a long time. We advertise on Facebook, this, that. I talk to people, tag people, call people, Snapchat, boob chat, and everything chat. Okay, we did all of that. But what I'm saying too is that what it is the main thing is that there's things that you can have, but we can't give it to you if you're not here. You know what I mean? Like you always here. So you learn stuff. You always be here. So that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying.
I see
Right.
little boys on the street, like
Right.
some little boy father wouldn't get up and take him to school. So you think you just gonna keep walking the street? No, I took him to East High School. The counselor, who are you? The community. And he walked. He needed
That's what we
somebody to
gotta
get him
do.
back in. But it takes everybody
Right.
as a one. I'm not saying
That
that
do.
it's something that one
We
person
do.
can do, but everybody as a one. So when we write our email addresses down, these are ways to get
Right.
through to people that
Exactly.
really not involved into the community.
Exactly.
I just think that it needs to be more. Like my
Yeah.
children don't even attend this club no more.
Mhm.
They go to the little club.
The
I heard
West Side.
about parents' family night tonight from another county. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, right.
Well, just an observation on my part. My kids are grown, so Sharon has a parent group that she's tried to get together. It almost sounds like a parent group would help with, this is what behavior my child is exhibiting or doing, and this is how I solve it. And you can bounce ideas off each other. And it sounds
Right. And see, the
like a
thing
great idea to
is,
me.
the thing is, I've been had it for a long time, and basically, I done did everything but tap dance on the table. I had free food, I had different things, and what it is for us to come, because y'all know it says, it takes a village to raise a child. Y'all knew how it was. We went down the street and we cussed in front of Miss Johnson. She could whoop us. She called my mama. When I got home, I got another whooping. And then my daddy came and we got another one. That's what we got to go back to, not necessarily the whooping. Let me say that, y'all officers. We just saying, that's what we say. It's not, But what I'm saying is we got to go back to helping each other. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these kids know me too. And so they was cutting up. I was like, boy, what you doing? He was like, oh, I'm sorry, Miss Sharon. Okay, that's what I thought. You see what I mean? So that goes into that.
But that's getting the community together.
The next time you're gonna have a meeting, if you're gonna tap dance on the table, let me know. I'll be there.
So even a way for these parents to know about these support groups. maybe a little communication needs to be made with the kid, with
You
the
know what,
schools.
y'all gonna sign all your
I
name
can
and email
sign up
and
still
number
even
and
talk
stuff.
with, even
Yeah.
talking with the schools, because 9 times out of 10, if the parent is having this problem at home, that problem is being displayed at the school.
It is, exactly.
And these kids that get in trouble, no kids that get in school, guess
Exactly.
what? You gonna give me a ticket because he got in trouble, mandate me to parents and support
Exactly.
groups so that I can figure
Yeah.
out what I need to
Exactly.
do to get to my
Yeah.
child.
And that's what we need, and so when we have that, then we all can help each other.
Now, we
You know?
do have 11 school resource officers that are assigned to the schools. And just talking to the chief, and next time that we have a meeting like this, we'll bring them along. We'll bring some of them along. They are a resource for you.
And see, we have these meetings, what we have it now, we have this every last Thursday at Divine Temple at 5:30 to 7. Everybody is welcome. Now, let me just tell y'all, you don't have to belong to the church. Everybody is welcome to come. We want that so that we can find out what we need to do in the community with our kids, with our community, in our different places. But we want that. We begging people to come. And usually it's just us officers and maybe 2 people. So that's it. So basically we just sit up and talk. Like, what did you do? Oh, you had coffee? No, me too. You know, but I'm just saying, we, every last Thursday at Divine Temple, 5:30, we have a meeting from 5:30 to 7. Everybody welcome. Everybody. And so that way when we come, you know, when you come and stuff, now we can talk about all the different issues that's going on, because that's the only way we can help each other, once we talk about what's going on. So this person, because see, a lot of us like me, my kids are grown, and my baby, she gonna be mad about this, I don't care. That's my daughter Chanel right there. Okay, that's my baby. She's 25. Okay, that's my baby. So I don't have no kids, but she'll tell you, I was a regular at the Boys and Girls Club. She was at the school. I made pop-up visits. Y'all better get back to that. You ain't that busy. Pop-up visits. Don't let them know. Don't even tell the teacher. You just go there. Miss John, who you here? Is Kim here? I just came to see.
That way you say that does actually work. It's embarrassing as a kid, because I mean, like, all of a sudden I'll be in my classroom and they'll be like, I think your mom here. And I'm just like, oh.
No, I tell the teacher, just shoot me a mass email. You write that by that phone up, pick up the phone and ring it one time. I'm on my way.
Well, see, you know, that's the thing about it, like I said, too, and y'all know, too, teachers, Lord have mercy. They deserve way more. Why they so underpaid? None of us would have our jobs if it wasn't for teachers. They the most underpaid, underrated, underappreciated people of all. They don't really have a lot of time to do a lot of stuff, especially got the fact that now we got a lot of kids in one room, and it's one teacher. They buying their own stuff. The curriculum is old as I don't know what. The kids is bigger and taller. And let's just tell the truth, you know, our kids, and that the mouth is bad. And let's just be real now, like she said. Because when I walk into school, them kids straighten up. But then when it's white people, and most of the teachers are white, they talking to them all out the side of their mouth. But when we come in, we say, what? And they straighten up. So what I'm saying is, in order for us to do anything, we got to come together. Like you said that about doing that. Somebody else had another idea. That's how we gonna do it, y'all. That's how we gonna raise our kids. One thing I can say, I love Kirk's program. His program is teaching those kids how to be men, being godly, being spiritual, and everything. He have all of those different things going on. They got to do certain things in order to get to certain levels. They got to do all that. We need each other, y'all. We need each other. We need Jesus. I don't care if you don't believe in it. We need each other. We need Jesus. And we need to love each other. And we need to work together.
By the way, I love Kirk's program. So my kids make a Boys and Girls Club because the white wasn't there yet. But they love it anyway. No, I took all my family, and I love it. But what's the age?
Middle school to high school.
Okay. And yes, my young people from the oldest to the youngest, they all went through there. And so I love that program. And Boys and Girls Club. But I just wanted to get back to what Jessica was talking about. Like, I work at a shelter, and we see a lot of people a lot of parents, also parents that's like, they had a situation and they're paying, and they're all of a sudden CPS is in their case. Maybe this is something that we should ask, maybe the CPS, they can come here and do it, you know, they can come here one day. And there is a lot of
gray areas, and it's just like, we don't even understand. We work with the parents, I'm like, I'm not even sure why CPS is here.
Yeah.
And it does make you feel like that you kind of like trapped in how you can raise your children. And honestly, like, as a parent, nobody's gonna have the best intentions for you. You the biggest cheerleader, you the biggest everything, but we see it every day. But you also see, like, and once you get them in there, it's like hard to get this, that's it. Like, now you're like a parent that has, you got the label, you labeled like that. You know, they're kind of looking at this, first they look at. So that would be something to maybe.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We writing that down. So what we'll do is, they'll contact and find out who to contact for CPS, and then that way, at the next meeting, they'll be there.
I just want to say, I'm actually currently enrolled. I'll be a senior at UWGB in this social work program, and I will have child welfare emphasis, which will qualify me to be a CPS worker. And I'm taking in a lot of what you're saying to me, and I really appreciate hearing your concerns. And just on a training level, I know there is an immense amount of emphasis in not coming to your doorstep and targeting the parent as a problem. We're trying to be solution focused and to incorporate the family and not just take children away. And actually, it's a long, long process. It's not like CPS just comes in and takes your kid away. There are protocols and things put into place so we can work with the family. Because there are laws, actually state statutes, that we have to, reunification is a goal for the family. So anyways, I'm taking everything in what you guys are saying.
Sir, you had one question. I want to get to it. I know you guys have other questions. Maybe officers could stick around and answer questions that you might have after this. We'll stick around as long as it takes to answer everything, but I know you raised your hand earlier.
More than a question, it's just to reaffirm, I'm actually the bilingual family engagement coordinator for our district. We do have an African-American parent engagement coordinator, and I know that a lot of people have a lot of questions about how the district works. How can they get together? How can they access information about students? Somebody said an example, well, I just popped in and just go into my science class. Well, actually, the district has a system to implement background checks in order to volunteer with the district. Right. So if you want to be proactive and effective and intentional and then strategic about how to get involved in your son's life, her name is Ingrid Parker. Some of you probably already know her, right?
Yeah.
And her phone number over here, if anybody wants to take notes, is 272-7618. Anything that has to do with parent involvement, questions from your kids, how the system works, assistant resources, 272-7618. She's a liaison, she's the field. Right. She's the one who applies the practices without you having to navigate this other system from different perspectives. She can talk one-on-one, make apples to apples from that African-American perspective.
Right.
Thank you.
I think we've kind of run out of time here, so let's go. We'll stick around as long as you want. If anybody has any questions you want to talk to any of us specifically, do you have something?
I do. We're going to do the raffle in just a second, but I want to say thank you to you guys. When I started here 8 years ago, the culture at this club was, when you guys came here, it was like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And I'm serious. And they would go be in a corner somewhere. Now when they come, it's hugs, it's high fives, it's all that good stuff. So I want to say thank you to all the officers. So and with that said, hopefully we can do this again here. You know, it's always going to be food and all that good stuff. So thank you for coming. And with that said, we're going to do the raffle. Which one of you guys want to pull?
The next meeting, before we do that, the next meeting is May. That's March 30th. March 30th at Divine Temple at 5:30. 425 Cherry. It's right across the street from the public library. Okay. Yeah, but it's right there.
Right downtown?
Right downtown, yeah.
By the...
March 30th.
We'll send a note to anybody that signs up. We'll make sure you get an email, and so you'll have that. And you'll have that.
And the next family night is March 16th, and we'll have another parents meeting at 6 o'clock then too. Okay. So
All right, anybody want to pull a?
Sure, I will pull one.
Pull mine.
Is the orange one?
Wait, which one?
Yeah.
This little basket right here is a relaxation basket along with the $25 Visa
Make
gift
sure
card.
that's not.
Okay, I will read off the number. 528 631. 631.
That was
Congratulations.
1 minute, this officer, I mean FBI. Do you have any cards that we could get? Do you have any cards that
I've
we
been
can have?
handing them out. I've got one left. So Sharon, I will, I'll give it to you.
I want to thank you for coming too. Really appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. Give it up for the FBI for a minute. Huh? When's the last time you saw an FBI agent here? Thank you very much.
And then this one is
Oh, I got two. We got
this one is a date night. There's movies and popcorn and candy and all that stuff. So here we go.
Okay, here you go. Okay, 528 612.
That's me.
612. Look at you. It's a great day. It's a great day in Green Bay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dwight.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Who the kids gonna tag?